So I will see you on Monday and Friday. Remember that if you can't keep track, if you can't keep schedule, okay, then you need to go ahead and hit the bell. That way you get notified and you can be on time for the next hot dog session. Okay, I love you guys. I love my beanie weenies. And I'll see you on Monday. Have a good weekend. Bye. So while I have been away killing muggles in Hogwarts Legacy for about a month now, you wouldn't actually notice because we are back for another episode of The Sims 4 Are You the One? Of course, I am Hot Dogs, the one and only Hot Dogs here on YouTube. And right now, I don't really feel like necessarily being on camera for the rest of this video. I look a little bit rough and my tongue is blue from eating candy. So we're just going to do a little cute voiceover moment for today's episode because it is jam-packed and I really got to start editing these videos and getting them posted to you because I am ready to connect with my little beanie weenies. So let's just jump right in and get into today's episode.
So let's get into it.
Alright, so in last week's episode of Sims 4 Are You the One, we saw one of our house guests be sent home due to violence. Jealousy can be, a very bad and rampant thing in this house, but now that we have one house guest gone, that means we have to introduce one newbie. And that newbie is going to be Sunny Gomez. And he has just arrived, and he has a perfect match waiting for him. He'll be taking place, or replacing, the perfect match of the previous undisclosed house guest. Now, when it comes to Sunny, he is a music lover. He is lactose intolerant. He is a child of the islands, a musical genius, which then gives him the additional trait of being a muser. And instantly when he comes in, he heads straight over to the girls. He sits down at the counter and introduces himself to everyone. And hopefully it won't take him too long to get in and settled and start finding who could be his perfect match. What do you guys think of Sunny? And who do you think his perfect match is? Of course, let me know down below. In the bathroom, we have Jae Young relaxing and getting a foot massage from seemingly no one. We also see the little vacuum kind of roving around and picking up the place because no one else seems to be doing that. However, upstairs, we have Benson relaxing on the rocking chair in the bedroom alone. And it looks like a few of our house guests are taking their time now to relax. We see that outside in the ocean, Alice is lounging on the pizza chair, and everyone's kind of taking a little bit of alone time, except for that main crowd that's hanging out in the living room. So yeah, as you can see, almost everyone is here in the living room. We even see that Alice has stopped relaxing in the bathroom to come over and join the crowd as well. And everyone's really getting along and getting to know each other. It's a kind of a lot for Sunny to take in. I would think he has to now go into and meet all these people, figure out who they're talking to, figure out who he can talk to. I don't know, I would be really overwhelmed if I was him with all of these already established relationships. But he seems to be kind of pulling through. He seems to be having a good time. He is a people person. And he is sandwiched between two beautiful women, so I'm sure he's pretty happy about it. And while Sunny might not be the best at flirting, he's definitely going to be getting a lot of experience of doing it in the house. That sounded worse than I meant it to, but same thing. He probably will also get a lot of woohoo experience in this house, and I'm sure he's going to be walking out of it not only with his perfect match, but as a flirting expert. So while he might be dropping a few bombs right now, I'm sure eventually those are going to turn into roses. That's a phrase I've never heard anyone say, but maybe we can start it now. Now we see that our two house guests that were trying to find some solo time earlier have now come and joined the rest of the party. Benson has made his way downstairs, Alice has come out of the ocean, and they both started dancing, and we see that Yolanda is now breaking it down on the pole and shimmying in front of everyone, and who knows, maybe she'll attract someone over and she might find her perfect match tonight with all this seducing. So far, no one has really made their way over apart from Kayla, who has now come and joined the dancing circle. Everyone else is kind of ignoring them and watching TV. From the looks of it, it looks as though Kayla and Alice are the only ones to really notice Yolanda over here dancing. It looks like Benson has already kind of moved on from the girls and is now chatting with Jae Young and his kind of interest right now with Bruno. And then over there on the computer, we see that Liana is having a good time chatting it up, finding romance, and just surfing the web online. However, girlie, you're not looking for romance online. You're looking for it in the room right now. She needs to get off the computer and start chatting with some boys. But it looks like the only one that's really doing the most chatting is we have Rosalie sitting here on the couch, who's really chatting it up with everyone. She's kind of pulling everyone's attention away from Yolanda and into the living room. And they're all kind of just sitting in there talking, even though Yolanda is trying her hardest to get some attention. We see that Jake has left and is taking a break away from everyone else, probably to go get a potty break, while inside we see that Alice and Jonas are kind of chatting it up for the first time, and things seem to be kind of flirty. I love this pink glow that's around them, meanwhile with her pink dipped hair and her pink bathing suit. I don't know, it looks pretty romantic. We see that now the sandwich between Sunny has fallen apart, and Felicity has walked off, mainly leaving Sunny to now talk to LaToya, and the two of them kind of have a little one-on-one. We see that Benson has gotten on the computer. Meanwhile, in the background, Yolanda is serving on the pole, and again, no one is paying much attention. But I don't know, I really like that Sunny has been instantly attracted to LaToya the second he came into the building, and they've just been chatting it up ever since. I don't know, I think that might be a good sign for him. Although it looks as though Jae Young has finally noticed Yolanda is on the pole. Meanwhile, it looks as though Vince is now serving up some food in the kitchen, while Rosalie and Benson kind of backseat drive the whole dish being made. You know, they're like, you should cut the tomatoes this way, I don't know, add a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Personally, I would find that so annoying. Like, leave me alone, let me cook in peace by myself. However, it does seem as though Sunny is trying his hand at flirting one more time, and it's actually going pretty well. I love that her cheeks are now kind of like blushing and flustered, and I don't know, I think they make a really cute couple, but of course, are they a perfect match? I don't really know. But it seems as though they're getting pretty serious as they've now stood up, and Sunny is now whispering sweet nothings into her ear, and her here. I don't know why I said it that way. Anyway, and they're now making their way upstairs to woohoo. So they skipped the whole first kiss thing and they went straight to woohooing. I mean, like I said, even if Sunny doesn't have that much experience going into the house, he's been in here for 5 minutes and he's already woohooing someone. So he's definitely going to gain that experience pretty quickly, okay? We're going to make him a player pretty fast. However, it seems as though Jae Young and Ariel are giving each other massages out back, while things are getting super hot and steamy up in the bedroom as a few more house guests have now joined. It seems as though Rosalie has joined this little foursome going on. I don't even know how many people are exactly in this woohoo right now. I think just the three of them. Yeah, okay. So just the three of them had a little quickie. So he's not only hit it off with one house guest, but he's hit it off with a second one too. So who knows? One of these might be his perfect match, but there's a lot of different choices. So to decide that, I think we might actually take a few of our house guests out on a date, our first real date excursion here on Are You the One? And we're going to travel across the island to a little tiny spa I've made where they're going to be able to oil up and rub each other, get rubs themselves, and do some yoga out on the beach. They have nice waterfall and everything. It's going to be super romantic. However, this is not a one-on-one date. Instead, this is going to be a pretty big group date. So things can get really messy really quick. Okay, we could have multiple people going after the same person, and this could really sort of mess things up or make things really simple depending on who they hit it off with. So if we see that the big group that we have invited out to the spa is going to be Kayla, Rosalie, Latoya, Alice, Felicity, Jonas, and Benson. They're all going on a date with our new house guest, Sunny, and we're going to see who hits it off with who and who has a good date while others don't. Who knows? Again, who do you think is going to be a perfect match? Any of these pairs? What do you think? Let me know down below in the comments, because things are going to get pretty spicy pretty quick. I feel like everyone's kind of taking their turn with everyone. There's no real solid pair right now, so I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that maybe one emerges from this date, but I don't have that much faith. Now that everyone's changed into their robes, mostly they're all kind of just chit-chatting. However, Sunny is out on the beach doing some yoga out on his own, kind of resetting his mind, maybe trying to make a decision between what girls he's into. After all, he just walked into the house and had a threesome within an hour. So he's kind of taking some time to chill out. Meanwhile, the rest are all kind of gathering around the fire, and instead of chilling out, they're warming up. Alright, so instead of getting a massage from any of the house guests, they're getting a massage from people that work at the spa. We see that Felicity is getting a back rub, while it looks as though Kayla is getting a manicure and pedicure. That's kind of what I would be doing personally. I'd be like, let me take advantages of these spa, amenities real quick. Meanwhile, it looks as though a lot of the house guests that are by the fire are really just relaxing by even taking naps. However, Jonas and Rosalie are joining Sunny out on the beach and doing some yoga out there with him. And while I said I would be doing the massages and stuff, definitely, while my old ass does need to, do some more stretches, my back is hurting me, I don't think I would be doing yoga on the beach as a date, personally. However, it does seem to be working for Sunny, as the quick little workout has gotten Rosalie's blood pumping, and the two of them end up heading over to the fire pit in front of everyone and woohooing right there. Now we see that some of our townies are a bit shocked by the Are You the One kids' behavior, but of course I am not at all. And I don't think any of the other Are You the One kids are surprised either, as none of them see it as a big deal. They kind of end up coming over and looking, and either not caring or joining, as we see Alice just did. So I think that is a body count of 3 with Sunny so far, and it's his first day here in the house. So I would definitely say Sunny is pretty popular among our house guests. It looks as though Felicity has just now finished her massage, and she is pretty hungry. Meanwhile, Kayla is just now finishing up her manicure and is getting ready for her pedicure. She's like, again, I am busy getting pampered, and I mean, I guess you could say the same is going on over there by the fire pit, just a different form of pampering. Everyone is kind of just sitting around and watching, and it seems to be getting everyone else in the mood, as we see Benson is now gone over and started flirting with Felicity. I don't think we've seen the two of them flirt at all in the house, but they are now straight up woohooing on the massage beds right in front of the employees, who don't seem to mind at all. They're just like, whatever, I'm getting paid to be here. Meanwhile, Jonas is all on his own out on the beach doing some yoga with his butt in the air. I gotta say, this is a very interesting date. and one that I have not had. And also how you slip on sand. I mean, I would get it if he was going up a hill, like a sand dune, but whatever. I guess the sand here on this island is slippery. And he just kind of takes a stroll, walks by everyone woohooing, but he does see that Felicity is getting, railed by Benson on a massage bed after he just hooked up with her and has been flirting with her for the past few days. I can't tell if he's actually upset by it. I think naturally he would be. Anyone would be, but he's kind of just sitting there watching, maybe in shock. However, it looks as though LaToya has woken up from her nap to view this whole little threesome going on in front of her that she was not invited to, and she's pretty upset by it. She's like, what the heck? You were the first one. Like, I was the first one to hook up with you, and now you're already going and hooking up with all these other people without me. What's going on? And she eventually becomes the only one to not be hooking up as soon Jonas and Kayla start hooking up at the massage chairs. And LaToya is the only one left not hooking up with anyone. She has to pee, she's upset, and she ends up just taking a stroll and just leaving the date altogether. Like, what a bummer. She started this episode being the first one to get with Sunny. I was like, I don't know, maybe the two of them are a perfect match, just to end up being on the date alone. Not only that, but in the last episode, her date went home. I don't know. It's just kind of tragic. And it's not going to get that much better from here because, again, we have to go ahead and start our coupling ceremony. Now, I might not be on camera today, but I am here in The Sims to host our coupling ceremony. Now, every week, our house guests will gather here, and they will pair off into pairs, naturally. Last week we had the guys choose first. However, this week we will have the girls choosing first. One by one, they will come up and choose the person they are closest to, and that will be their pair for the week. Now, if all 8 pairs are correct, everyone will share the sum of 100,000 billion quadrillion simoleons to take home. However, potentially, you guys will take home nothing if you can't match everyone. Again, all of you will be represented by lights, and when a light comes on, that will be a match, and if no lights come on, that will be a blackout, and your sum will go down to 500,000, 500 gajillion, and so on and so forth. Now again, like I said, the boys went first last week, so the girls are going to go first this week, and our first house guest to choose is none other than Jae Young. Now, if we go ahead and look at Jae Young's relationships, there is only one choice for her, and that is Ariel. So Jae Young and Ariel, you are our first couple in today's ceremony. Please go ahead and take a seat together. Felicity, you are the next girl to choose. Why don't you go ahead and come on down here and let's look at your relationship statuses and see who you're going to pick. Now, surprisingly, Felicity has 0 romantic interest, so instead we're just going to have to see who she's closest to in the house. And that house guest is Jonas. So, Felicity and Jonas, you are our second pair of the night. Why don't you go ahead and take a seat together? All right, Latoya, you are our next house guest to pick. You've had a rough couple of days so far, so it'll be interesting to see who you pick. Let's go ahead and look at your relationship statuses. So Devontae is not eligible as he has been kicked out of the group, and the other one is not a house guest either, so that only leaves Sunny. So Sunny and Latoya, you are our third couple of the week. All right, Kayla, you are the next house guest to pick. Why don't you come on down and let's have a quick look at your relationship statuses. And like Felicity, even though you've hooked up with a few of our house guests, you have no romantic interest in any of them. So we're just going to have to look and see who you're closest to in the house. And that house guest is Yolanda. So I didn't really clarify in this meeting. However, this is an all by, all open sort of coupling. So everyone can pick anyone, doesn't have to just be boy and girl. So this is going to be our first girl and girl couple of the night. Kayla and Yolanda, why don't you go ahead and take a seat together? And Alice, why don't you go ahead and make your way down here and let's look at your relationship statuses and see who you're going to pick. Alright, so Alice only has one romantic interest, and that is Vince. However, in the first episode, or the second episode, whatever, we sent them to the truth booth, and we saw that they were not a match. However, even without the romance aside, she is still closest to Vince, and so she has no choice really but to pick him. So our next pair is Alice and Vince, which means that we know for a fact that we won't be getting all 8 lights coming on later because they are not a match. So already off the bat, we have one pairing incorrect. So who knows how many others are incorrect, or if we might even have a blackout. We'll have to see, but Liana is next to pick. Now, Liana also didn't have any romance with anyone else, and we honestly haven't seen that much of her so far. She hasn't really stood out in the group at all. She's kind of just laying low and really trying to decide who she likes naturally, which I respect. I feel like she will probably end up finding her perfect match that way. But as of right now, she is closest with Jake. So Liana and Jake, you are the next pair for the night. Why don't you go ahead and take a seat? We are almost done selecting everyone, but not done just yet. We still have 2 more matches to go. Now, Rosalie, you are next, and you've definitely had an interesting past couple of days. You've really gotten to know quite a few of your house guests, so this should be pretty interesting to look at because you actually have no romance with any of them, which seems to be a trend with a lot of the girls so far. I feel like the guys are kind of feeling it while the girls are just not. But based on your friendship with everyone, you are closest to Robbie. So that's a pretty interesting pair, Rosalie and Robbie. I don't know if I would say that you two are a perfect match, but who really knows? I haven't really seen that much of the two of you, but this is definitely a surprising choice. But why don't the two of you go ahead and take a seat? As we are now down to our final pair, and that's going to be the 2 guys that are left over, those being Benson and Bruno. Now, thankfully, the two of these guys have been getting along. They picked each other in the last round, and they're picking each other again this time. So there is some romance there, and who knows, they might actually be a perfect match, or they might not be, considering that they're the only two left. And now you might actually notice that I have Devante over there in the corner. At the time of recording, I did not notice that I had him over here. So that was interesting. This is what I found that out. So I was like, oh, Devante, you're here. Awkward. I thought we removed you. Why don't you come on down and we'll, I guess, just officially evict you by lightning striking you and killing you on the spot. Next time, don't break the rules and hit any of our house guests. I didn't mean to kill you, but you just kept popping up everywhere, wanting to join the household. There's too many Sims, and I get confused, and I don't need you lingering around to confuse me. So while I might be crying right now, it is fake and just for the camera. And Devante, you are dead and will never be reappearing at any of my coupling ceremonies. So, if you saw him earlier and were wondering why he was there, this is why. It was all on purpose, and I just brought him here to kill him. It might upset some of the house guests, but this is the consequence. Don't break the rules. There is no hitting, only woohooing in the house of Are You the One, okay?
Grubel.
All right, let's go ahead and take a seat now that that is out of the way. And let's continue on with this coupling ceremony. The Grim Reaper might be here doing some more paperwork, but we're gonna just ignore him, okay? Me and him are the 9th perfect match here. And we're just gonna continue on. So again, any light that comes on means that you have one perfect match, and your goal is to get all 8. However, we know that you guys are only gonna get 7, if anything, but let's go ahead and see how many you get. All right, and that is 1 light. So you guys are not getting a blackout tonight, and one of you is a perfect match. And that is our 2nd light. 2 of you are now a perfect match. But which 2? And are there going to be more? No. Unfortunately, there is only 2 perfect matches among you. So you guys are not really doing really well. You only have a couple more opportunities to get all 8 perfect matches. So you guys need to go home, stop doing the threesomes and foursomes and whatnot, and really trying to find out who your perfect match is. And 2 of you are there. So hopefully in the next episode, you could send one of them to the truth booth and totally clarify if they are or not. And to make sure you guys at home get that notification for our next episode, of course, subscribe, like, all that stuff down below, because we are going to be sending another pair to the truth booth, and you do not want to miss that. And that concludes our episode of The Sims 4 Are You the One? I love you guys. I'm sorry that my beautiful face is not here on camera today, but it will be in the next episode. So I'll see you then on Friday. Bye.
Y'all ugly.